All right.
Welcome, everyone. Sports Talk Mania with Lee Haygood. It's Monday, May the 19th. As always, we're here on Mondays from the hours of 6 to 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Already got a caller on the line with me. Got Bob from Loretta. Bob, how's it going today? And what do you got in the world of sports you want to talk about? We're going to talk about it all, or what are we going to talk about?
Well, Lee, this is Bob from Loretta. I probably could maybe touch base with a little bit. I'm not too up to date on soccer, but I do know who Ronaldo is. And but yeah, gosh, yeah, we're already a month and a half into Major League Baseball, and hey, there's some big surprises out there.
A lot of big surprises. You and I have been talking for a minute or two before we got on the air, and you was talking about Aaron Harang. Most of us around this area being Braves fans, by all means. You was talking about Aaron Harang and how people were actually saying that, hey, maybe, the Braves done lost their mind going out and getting him. But I'm going to tell you what, Aaron Harang is one of the aces in the Braves pitching staff this year so far.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Several years ago, he signed this huge contract with Cincinnati. He started for 4 or 5 years in a row, and Ranger finished in the balloting in the top 5 there for about 3 or 4 years. He kind of got lost a little bit in the American League, and they bring him back, and Lord, better than ever.
And I tell you what, one of the biggest disappointments I think this year in Major League Baseball, and it's not really the record, it's just about how they went about business, and that's the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've spent, the marketing has spent like $8-point-something billion on this, and the problem is, Bob, that I see with this is like 70 or 80% of the people in the area out around the Los Angeles Dodgers cannot view this on TV because of that big contract that they've signed with, the TV sponsors and the marketing part of it.
Well, I've always been an anti-blackout kind of guy because with a market as big as they have in Los Angeles, you can't put 3 million fans in that ballpark for every game, and their tickets are pretty well sold out nightly, but they still refuse to broadcast. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to learn a lesson. I think the Atlanta Braves, when Ted Turner made the Atlanta Braves America's team by letting everybody see them, even if they live down the street.
You're exactly right, Bob. And the thing about that is, if we got blacked out, especially us around this area, we're 80 miles from Tennessee Titans, and we're, probably 60 miles, I guess, from Atlanta. And if you start blacking out all these areas like that, well, where's your fan base? What are they to do, especially when you can't, pile but 50,000 people up in LP Field to watch the Titans, or you can't pile but 48,000 people down at Atlanta. What's the fans to do?
Well, the fans will either listen to it on the radio. Fortunately, there's never been a ban on radio broadcast. I can remember as a little boy sitting with my grandfather, Alvin Berryhill, on a Sunday afternoon, and at 1 o'clock, he'd turn that radio on, and hello, this is Jack Buck with St. Louis Cardinals baseball. So hopefully they won't do away at least with radio broadcasts.
Well, and you're absolutely right. Thanks to all the broadcasters that bring it to us, like the radios and the Mustangs TV and people like that can bring it across the air to us, via internet nowadays in time, or radio, and like you say, radio still big and powerful in the area. And again, that's the way that we can pick up these blackout games and things of that nature, which you and I both will agree that that's something that we don't like either way. But talk about your Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves started out on fire this year, and now they 23-19 going into today's game. What does the Atlanta Braves? What does Freddie Gonzalez have to do, these Atlanta Braves, to get them up and ready and back to their powerhouse that they were starting of the season?
Well, I'm a firm believer that I know Dan Ugle's a middle Tennessee boy, but they're going to have to eat that contract one way or the other. You either play him; he's not a great defensive player, and of course his numbers have just dropped every year for the last 4 years. First thing they need to do is trade one of those starting pitchers and try to get some offense into the lineup.
And you're right, Bob.
Maybe there's a couple of good second basemen out there.
You're absolutely right about that, because all these starting pitchers they have, and then they've just had two come back, off of an injured reserve to jump back in their spots, and they already had some good pitchers to start with. So you may be right on right there as far as trading a pitcher for a good second baseman, or good second baseman or shortstop actually, which they got one of the best defensive shortstops.
Well, Lee, I'll tell you, I really believe that Simmons is going to be a potential future All-Star. But now you take a guy like Brandon Phillips in Cincinnati. You put him into a lineup that's already got some of the cats that Atlanta has, and he may be the difference. And there's some other second baseman out there, but I'd primarily be looking for a second baseman, somebody like Matt Carpenter out of St. Louis. Get that kind of guy, if that's possible.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think they're hurting that second baseman, and also, what are they going to do with their outfielders down there in Atlanta? They've got so many outfielders, and it just can't seem to be going, at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with them.
Maybe they're going to have to go down and this does happen sometimes in Major League Baseball. They'll bring somebody, just from down Double-A or Triple-A, either one of them, and that guy sometimes will give a spark. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Atlanta trade one of those pitchers to somebody like Milwaukee, and even though Gomez, Gomez is a fantastic player, despite the fact that Brian McCann last year didn't want him to cross home plate after he showed out a little bit. But maybe if he comes down to Atlanta, some of those older guys could take him under his wing. And now there's a fantastic future talent as well.
I agree. And talking about talent, future talent, how about them Loretta Mustangs? The baseball season they had this year, going back to the state tournament for the first time, I think, since 2005 or 2006, I'm being told. So what do you think about those Loretta Mustangs?
Well, I want to tell you, I can't tell you just how proud I am of those guys. Mustang TV's made it possible for folks that might not otherwise be so familiar with some of the other sports at Loretta High School. And, I'm very proud of those guys. And I'll tell you, just wait. The future's only going to get better and better when that bunch comes up that finished second in the World Series. And I've noticed around town there's some other younger kids coming up. The sports scene at Loretta, my goodness, how bright it looks.
Absolutely, Bob. And as you know, Coach Tips has left the Lady Mustangs, and we're awaiting the arrival of a new coach. So we'll see what happens in our lady basketball.
They had a lot of applications, I'll tell you that.
All right, Bob, we're not going to.
I understand they had maybe 30 applications.
Hey, a lot of people wants to get involved in Loretta sports, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, folks realize that this is a hotbed for women's basketball. It's a hotbed now for football again. It's a hotbed for baseball. Listen, the sky's the limit. Someone asked me the other day, like Summertown baseball team, what do those guys do up there? And I said, they play fundamental baseball is what they do. And that's what will win you games.
That's absolutely right, Bob. Hey, Bob, we appreciate you taking your time and calling us here on Sports Talk Mania this evening. Looking forward to talking to you again. We've got another caller coming in. Thanks for calling. Call back again, Bob.
Thank you, Lee. Take care of yourself.
Thank
Go
you.
Mustangs.
We're back here at Mustangs TV. Phone lines are now open, 931-623-6090. And give us a call, and we'll be glad to get you on the line. Again, Mustangs Sports Talk Mania with Lee Haygood here on Mustangs TV. We'll await another phone call. I think we had a call coming in. I think my producer actually hung up on them. So give me a call back here at 931-623-6090. We're going to blame it on KJ, whether it was KJ's fault or not. We got another call coming in. I believe we might have the coach of the Loretta Mustangs on the line. Sports Talk Mania with Lee Haygood. Who's on the line with us? I think this is Coach Lamb. Is that correct?
That's correct, Lee. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Coach Lamb. Hey, congratulations on a great baseball season this year. Just got off the phone with Bob Moore. We was talking a little baseball. And got Coach Gary Lamb of the Loretta Mustangs baseball team. Went to the state tournament for the first time, I think, since 2006. Coach, how did it feel to get back to that state?
It felt good. I mean, we started off the year kind of rough, and then we put together a few wins towards the end of the season, and the kids got stronger, and we just had a little tough luck against Columbia Academy right there at the last game in the region semifinals. But it's good to get a foundation under our feet and get back in the state playoffs first time since 2006. We had a tough team in our district, Summertown, and kind of surprised me that Forest was able to beat them in the game on Friday, 3-2. It's just a tough district.
Well, Coach, I've seen where you're only losing like 2 seniors off that squad, and I know they're as important as those 2 seniors are. What's our future looking like for Loretta High School baseball?
It looks good. We've got a young group coming in. We're going to have tryouts on May 28th at 8 o'clock, and hopefully we'll have a good group of freshmen come in, and we'll have several seniors next year with a little mix of a few juniors and sophomores, and looks like a good team, hopefully, that we'll have next year. I know Summertown loses about 4 guys, but they'll still be strong. And some of these other teams, they got a lot of experience this year. So, it's, like I said, it's a tough district. And our thing right now is we have plenty of pitching. We just got to find some hitters, and definitely going to be looking for a catcher. Evan Robbins graduated, and Evan did a good job for us for the last year and a half. And then we also lost Austin Hobbs, and we'll have to find another shortstop in him.
Well, Coach, that sounds like 2 of your most key positions on a baseball field, just from what I know about baseball.
Definitely. Like I said, our catcher, we try to have him as an on-field type of coach, and like I said, Evan filled the position just in a short amount of time that he had, and hopefully we'll find another guy we can work with. And we already started working on schedule next year, and we've got, looks like, about 22 games this summer, starting, I think, May 29th, and we go down to Florence in a tournament the 30th and 31st, and then play pretty much every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday in the month of June. And after that, we pack the bags up, and then kind of guys are not playing football or basketball, let them do their thing and get back started and try to get ready for next year.
Well, talking about that, Coach, I know you don't want to spill any beans, but who are we looking for in that catcher spot? Because all the years that I've watched Loretta Mustangs baseball, you've had some good catchers back behind, even starting back when your son was playing. I mean, we've always had a good catcher behind that plate.
Well, we've got some guys that we're looking at, and I know Nicholas Hurstein was one of our JV catchers, and Chance Kennedy was one of our catchers this year, backup catchers, and whether or not it's one of those guys or one of these younger guys that might be coming in, or we're hoping that 6'4" kid from Florida might transfer in or whatever. You always look for that. But anyway, I don't know if that'll happen or not. But we're always looking. So we're going to try to figure out somebody that can help us this summer and fill in the shoes and try to get plenty of time back there behind the plate this summer.
Well, Coach, all these players that you had, and again, congratulations on your season. Congratulations to you players, especially the ones that made the all-district team, the all-tournament team, and one of those that just kind of stands out in my mind is Miles Burks. Miles is one of those athletes. He's just a true athlete, and that's one thing I can say about you, Coach. I've always noticed that whether it was a freshman coming in or a sophomore, junior, senior, if they was that good, they was on the field playing, and that's one thing that I can appreciate from you. But a little bit about Miles Burks and the season he had this past season.
Well, we had Miles stepped up. He was our number one pitcher. He threw more innings than anyone else did, and he caught fire late. And it's just one of those tough situations. We didn't get the hits like we needed to in the Columbia Academy game, but and we would have. I think Miles has a chance to play at the next level. He's just more than likely going to be a pitcher at that level, but he did a good job for us at bat, and I think he ended up right around 400. Jake Sharpton's another guy that made all-district. He was our center fielder, and I think he finished up at 480. And then also we had Nick Green. Nick was number 2, 3 guy pretty much, and him and Mason Person, of course. Mason got hit, or not hit, but had a wreck right there at the Saturday we were starting our district tournament. So very fortunate we had him just to survive that type of wreck, and looking forward to getting him back out there. And he was kind of a sore. His first time he came back to school, I think, was today, and so having him healthy and getting those guys back in uniform will definitely help us next year. Absolutely,
Coach. And again, Coach, I don't want to take up any more of your time. We do appreciate you calling in on Sports Talk Mania. What we're looking at next year? Are we going back to the state tournament as Loretta High School Mustangs baseball?
It's well, we're going to play a tougher schedule. I mean, we're beefing up the schedule a little bit. We've got a strong team, and to beat some of the teams we got to in our tournament, we're going to definitely play some tougher teams. I know we got games this coming season with Muscle Shoals, where we're going to play Brook. We're also looking at playing Wilson, which we didn't get a chance to play them this year, and because of rain. And we've got some teams coming in our St. Patrick's Day tournament that are some of the Alabama teams that we've been looking at for years playing. I know Sheffield called today. We're trying to work out something there with them, and got a couple of things we're working on. We're trying to play Summertown, and which I think it's going to work at Vanderbilt, and that's going to be a big plus to our program. So I know Lawrence County has already done that one time, and so I talked to their baseball operations guy, and he said he didn't think it'd be a problem. So we're looking at going up there and playing and showcasing some of our kids and letting our kids play on that field. We're also looking possibly of going down towards Birmingham. I'm trying to get a game at Brickwood Field, which is the oldest field in America, and our kids are excited about that. We're going to go down to the SEC tournament, watch a game this weekend, so hopefully they'll get to see some good talent there and take something back from the games that they watch there. And then the only other thing is we're trying to maybe possibility of something that I've kind of had on my bucket list, and that's build an indoor facility. So we're trying to have all these different things going, and try to make it from there and look and see what our situation is. But we would love to have an indoor facility that our guys can go in like some of these other schools have.
Exactly, Coach. And you're just talking about the indoor facilities and talking about Columbia Academy, one of those teams that's just got those, they got the facilities up there and just built on a new clubhouse, a sports house, so to speak, there at the at their facility. And things like that just get you players. Seems, I've always heard that looking better doesn't make you better, but it'll sure make you want to play better anyway.
Definitely. You take a lot of pride in that thing. We take a lot of pride in bringing teams into our field, and other teams enjoy playing on it. And we haven't done much to it here in the recent years, but I think that would be a great addition for us in the softball team. And we actually went around and looked at some the other day. I know Richland's got a nice one, Cornersville's got a nice one, Spring Hill's got a nice one. And, so with all those things, and we want it to where the kids appreciate and kind of get the feel of that pride about wanting to come play for Loretta Mustangs baseball.
Absolutely, Coach Lamb. Again, you've got one of the best fields around in the district anyway, and around this whole entire area. And like you say, it'd be nice if we could get an indoor facility just for these young student athletes to have a place to go in, practice when it's raining or when the weather's not right, especially in the wintertime, because that's going to just make them better to play for Loretta High School.
It will, definitely. And like I said, it worked for everybody in the community. Hopefully get them involved with it, and we can get the funds up and get it built, hopefully for this bunch gets out.
Well, Coach Lamb, again, we appreciate you calling in on Sports Talk Mania. Congratulations on your great season this past year. Best of luck to you in all these games that you're trying to set up at Vanderbilt and down in Alabama. And you guys be careful when you go into the SEC tournament this weekend.
All right, Lee, and I sure appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you, Coach Lamb. That's Coach Gary Lamb with the Loretta High School baseball team. Just got put out of the state tournament, and hopefully next year Coach Lamb's going to get his team all the way into the state tournament, if not to win the state tournament. That's what we look forward to as Loretta High School athlete fans around here. We would love to watch these Loretta athletes have success on the field, on the courts, and all of that. And again, that was Coach Gary Lamb. Big thanks going out to Coach Gary Lamb. Again, state tournament, baseball this past season. Unfortunately, they got put out by Columbia Academy, but they did make it to the state tournament. A great endeavor for Coach Gary Lamb and his Loretta Mustangs. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back on Sports Talk Mania right after this.
Coming up on MustangsTV.com, the Big Fred Show will be airing. I want to encourage everyone to tune in. Starting in the next couple of weeks, we'll have the Big Fred Show live on MustangsTV.com. Stay tuned for more information. Coming up on MustangsTV.com, the Big Fred Show will be airing. I want to encourage everyone to tune in. Starting in the next couple of weeks, we'll have the Big Fred Show live on MustangsTV.com. Stay tuned for more information.
More things coming up at MustangsTV.com. We've got the 2014 Miss Southern Princess Beauty Pageant. This will be happening Saturday, May the 31st, starting at 12 noon. It's going to be at the Old Crockett Theater, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. It is a natural pageant. For all other information, please go to MustangsTV.com and check it out. Again, that's the 2014 Miss Southern Princess Beauty Pageant. More things coming up at MustangsTV.com. We've got the 2014 Miss Southern. Welcome back, everyone. This is Sports Talk Mania with Lee Haygood. Just got off the line with Coach Gary Lamb. Had Bob from Loretta call in. Wanted to talk a little bit about Major League Baseball. Phone lines are open. It's 931-623-6090. Phone lines are open. Let's talk some sports this Monday afternoon to kind of get our week started off right on a Monday. Again, we're here talking sports, 931-623-6090. If you'd like to make a comment or give your opinion on one of the previous two callers, be glad to talk about that as well. Things going around in sports. How about Jamie McMurray winning the all-star race, so to speak, at Charlotte this past Saturday night? Jamie McMurray, one of the good old boys of NASCAR racing, brings home a little over $1 million. I'm sure he's not counting everything over the million, but he did make his $1 million this past Saturday night. Congratulations goes out to Jamie McMurray, again bringing home winning the All-Star race at Charlotte this past Saturday night. And again, upcoming this week on Sunday, all kind of racing, 1,100 miles of racing, so you ought to get your racing fix in this coming Sunday with the Indianapolis 500 running that morning, and of course the Coca-Cola 600 running later on that evening for the NASCAR guys. So looking forward to this weekend if you're a race fan. Also, talking about race fans, got lucky this past week with a local driver who was actually aired on Channel 4. his story was aired last night on Channel 4 News at 10, and we're talking about Charlie Ray Howe. Charlie Ray Howe drives cars a little different than most race car drivers. He is actually paralyzed from his waist down, so that's a little bit different. All of his controls are up around the steering wheel, and thanks to other people helping Charlie Ray out, his story got aired last night on Channel 4, but we actually got to have an interview with him. I think it was this past Thursday, and we're going to play that interview right now if we can get it going, and let's see if we can't get this interview with Charlie Ray Howe. Again, local limited late model driver around this area, drives with only his arms and his hands. This is our interview with Charlie Ray earlier this special guest on the line with me right now, and we're going to get an interview in with Mr. Charlie Ray Howe, driver of the number 75 limited late model race car, and he travels around to all these tracks, different tracks, racing, and always very competitive when he can keep everything in under him and nothing breaks and tears up on him. Charlie Ray Howe, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing very well, Lee. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing as well as can be expected. Just trying to get these people out here that's tuning in to Sports Talk Mania, a good interview with a good race car driver. And one thing about it, Charlie Ray, you're a little different than other race car drivers. You're not able to use that right foot and that left foot for that gas and that brake. And I even hate to say this, but it's because you are paralyzed from your waist down. But, man, you always on the track, you couldn't tell it.
Well, thank you very much for that, you know. And it's a lot of work from my hands, you know. I got a lot going on. I call it my office. I got a lot going on in my office, you know.
A lot going on inside the office chair and the desk, huh?
Yep. There's always a lot going on there.
Well, I know a few weeks ago, Mr. Kenny Schrader was at a racetrack that you were attending a race at and actually driving and competing in a race there, and he actually come up to you and was asking you questions about how you drove your car.
Yeah, Kenny, he kind of startled me. I was sitting down there, and I was kind of a little dark hole down there, and I had an image of a person just pop up, and I got to noticing it was Kenny, and he come over and congratulated me and told me that I really inspired him on how I really drove my car. So, yeah, and it meant a lot to me for somebody like that to actually acknowledge it and come over and speak to me.
I tell you what, Kenny Schrader is world known in NASCAR series, any of the NASCAR series, as he has raced just about everything included in NASCAR. And for him to come up to you, Charlie Ray, at that race and actually just peep his head over, and what was so cool about it is you had your in-car camera going, and you could hear and see some of the things that was going on.
Oh, yeah, he was just wanting me to explain to him, you know, really how everything works. And, yeah, I did get lucky. I just turned it on, and I was sitting there because I thought we was about to go on the track. And next thing you know, when I came home, I was going through the camera, and I was like, hold on a minute. I got Kenny Schrader called on camera talking to me. So, yeah, I mean, I saved that. You know, that's something that I'll keep with me forever, you know.
Absolutely, man. Somebody as big a name as Ken Schrader come up, pop their head inside the car window, and you're sitting at a local dirt track just ready to go out on the track. It's got to be one more feeling.
Oh, yes. It makes you feel real good about yourself.
Well, I know, Charlie Ray, that we're going to actually air this a little bit after a good thing has come upon Charlie Ray Howe, and actually I seen it last night, and we're talking about Thursday night. I seen a little bit of a snapshot of Channel 4 News out of Nashville, Tennessee has come and popped in and done an interview and a storyline with you, and the big show will be the big part of the show will be airing on Channel 4 News on Sunday night, which after this airs, of course, that'll be a little bit late, but I'm going to actually get it posted out on Sports Talk Mania's website and everything so people can actually watch it come Sunday night. Tell us a little bit about this going on with Channel 4 News, Charlie Ray.
Well, it really, kind of started out thanks to Josh Plant. He really helped us go along with the whole Channel 4 News. And, they came out yesterday, and we did a big interview. And like you said, when they came out, we did it. And I don't know, it was supposed to be aired, I think, around 10:30 Sunday night. They're going to do the main show, and it really just shows how my car operates and how I drive it, and under situations of racing.
And with that being said, Charlie Ray, again, you've got, I noticed you had posted, got some new design on the side of your car. It was white with a red number earlier in the season, and now we've got all shined up thanks to some special design. So I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, they do my T-shirts, my racing shirts that I have to sell. They actually do them. They embroider hats, and they're primetime designs out of Shelbyville, Tennessee. And a very good group of people, and I would recommend anybody to call them and give them a shout.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, that's one sharp-looking race car, especially when you posted an actual picture online with it, and then actually Channel 4, the little briefing that they had last night about you, showed you, driving it out of the garage there. So it looked real sharp, Charlie Ray.
Yeah, I don't really want to say too much about the Channel 4 because I want to leave it a surprise to everybody else.
I understand that, and we will let them. Hopefully, they'll watch Sunday night and figure out what's going on with Charlie Ray Howe and his racing endeavors. Charlie Ray, we're going to get back to reality now. You do race a little different than everybody else, so just kind of fill everyone in on what got Charlie Ray to that point.
Back in March 12th of 2010, I was involved in an automobile accident, and which caused me to shatter my T12. I'm a T12 incomplete spinal cord injury. I have a carbon vertebrae in my back. Ever since then, it changed my. Most people, they get down about their luck. Well, I have turned it plumb around, and I don't guess I've really had a bad day. It took me about a year and a half, and I got back in my car, and I'm here today.
And Charlie Ray, like I told them to start with, man, when you're out there on that track, you cannot tell that you've got anything wrong with you other than maybe the other drivers around. That's it.
Oh yeah, and I want to thank Mark Dowdy for helping me, fulfill this dream back to doing what I am doing. And that right there, I got with him about it, and he helped me, get my steering and everything all set up for this.
Mark Dowdy, being another race car driver similar to yourself, has to use hand controls and hand operations to make the race car go around the track and do the things it does. And Mark Dowdy, of course, races super late models, pretty much strictly all super lates this year. So he's traveling around with different series. But Charlie Ray, I know that you're not only a race car driver, and this is something that I can really appreciate about you. You do other things good in the area as well. Matter of fact, you've got some special events coming up. Won't you share that with us?
Next weekend, May 24th, at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm hosting a 5K. It's the Unbreakable Spirit 5K in Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, at the community center. We are doing it for the Osteogenesis Imperfecta Foundation, and all the funds and proceeds will go strictly to the foundation.
And go ahead and tell these folks, because they'll be able to hear this before this happens, tell them how that they can get in contact with someone to get entered in this.
If you got any questions about it, you can call me personally. My cell phone number is 931-985-5927. And that'd be the easiest way, and I could tell you a lot better how to get entered.
And how to take care of getting in that special 5K, right, Charlie Ray?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, all right, Charlie Ray. Again, we appreciate you calling and giving us an interview here at Sports Talk Mania. Look forward to seeing you at all the local tracks. I know you said you've told me earlier in the season that you plan on doing a lot of traveling around to different tracks this year. Look forward to seeing you around at these tracks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have more fun traveling around and spreading inspiration to others. My biggest thing personally is not to let people give up on life, on what they want to do.
And
so I travel.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, and I travel. I like to travel. And do it for my spinal cord injury, and not only am I having spinal cord injury, I have the osteogenesis imperfecta myself, which is a type 1, and makes me have like a full bones. And the worse the severe you get, the worse it is. And I got the mildest type of it, so we travel around and spread it to others.
And you do an excellent job at doing that, Charlie Ray. And again, that's the reason that I appreciate people like you going out, even though you've got a little bit hindering you actually go out and try to succeed. And in my eyes, you do each and every day, especially when you spread the word around, about osteogenesis and things of that nature, and the things that you do, like the 5K coming up. Charlie Ray Howe, we appreciate people like you on this show, and we appreciate you. People like you on this earth.
And Lee, I appreciate even being on your show, and thanks for the invite.
Well, man, we look forward to seeing you at the local racetracks. Again, I've got driver Charlie Ray Howell on the line, driver of the number 75, and you'll see him in limited late model stock car action all around the area as he is traveling around the different tracks. Charlie Ray, again, thanks for joining us on Sports Talk Mania. We'll look forward to speaking with you again, my friend.
Hey, Lee, I want to shout out to all my sponsors right now.
Absolutely. Get them in.
I need Primetime Designs out of Shepville, A1 Towing and Recovery out of Columbia, Tennessee, JPM Promotion of Mount Pleasant, Max Service Station out of Mount Pleasant, Duggar's Painting out of Mount Pleasant, and Dowdy's Welding and Fabrication.
Oh, man, you got to get those sponsors in because they're the ones that make that number 75 limited late run real fast around that track on Saturday nights, right?
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for them, I'd be sitting out.
We can understand that, Charlie Ray. As an announcer at a racetrack, man, I always try to get those sponsors in, and I'm glad you got yours in before we ended this segment. And Charlie Ray, again, thanks for joining us here at Sports Talk Mania. Again, we invite you back some other time, man, and we want to get to another full story of what's going on with the 2014 racing season for Charlie Ray Howell.
All right, and I thank you very much.
All right, man, good to talk to you, and we will end that segment with Charlie Ray right there. And, again, thanks to Charlie Ray Howell for his time, and we'll be back in just a moment. And I got a special. Welcome back, everyone. Sports Talk Mania with Lee Haygood. That was Charlie Ray Howell, an interview I conducted with him actually over the weekend. I appreciate Charlie Ray Howell. Again, phone lines are open if you'd like to discuss Charlie Ray's interview or Coach Lamb's or anything that Bob Moore said earlier in the show. Give us a call, 931-623-6090. Phone lines are open. We've got about 18 more minutes of the show. Talking about things going on in Loretta. Looking for that new ladies basketball coach for the Loretta Lady Mustangs. Hopefully they'll be making an announcement soon. Look forward to seeing who our new coach is down here in the big city of Loretta, Tennessee. Also, we're talking sports. Actually, just seen where Austin P. School just north of us, up around the Clarksville, Tennessee area, had a big sinkhole fall in the edge of the football field. Just seen that online as well. So that's some of the things happening around in our area as far as connected to the sports world anyway. Also, again, if you'd like to talk baseball, football, basketball, it doesn't matter. Give us a call, 931-623-6090. Sports Talk Mania, that's what we plan on talking about. All kinds of sports. Just give us a call. And talking about that, again, touched briefly on the Indiana Pacers against the Miami Heat. Man, I'm telling you what, that team come out ready to play, and they actually showed that what they're – I thought they was one of the best teams coming in anyway, but then watching the Atlanta Hawks series, it did not turn out that they was one of the best teams, but now it looked like they was ready to play in last night's ball game. So hopefully the Indiana Pacers can turn it around. Again, you've got one of the best groups of players I've ever saw in NBA basketball with LeBron and Bosh and Wade. So we'll see if they can't silence the Miami Heat sometime through this NBA Finals that's going on. Again, Sports Talk Mania, we're here for about 15 more minutes. Phone lines are open, 931-623-6090. Had Bob on from Loretta a little earlier talking all kinds of sports. We talked a little professional basketball, baseball, football, a little bit of college talk. We had a real good conversation. I want to thank Bob for him tuning in and giving us a call here on Sports Talk Mania. Then we had Coach Gary Lamb of the Loretta Mustang baseball team. Coach Lamb called us up, gave us a little bit of what happened this past season, what we're looking forward to in the upcoming season for Loretta High School baseball. And also just got done playing an interview that we had a little bit earlier in the week with Charlie Ray Howe, a local dirt track racer who races. He is a paralyzed racer from his waist down and drives only with his hands and his arms. And Charlie Ray and I was talking about even the likes of Kenny Schrader, who visited one of our local tracks. Kenny Schrader come up and actually asked Charlie Ray how his car worked. He was real enthused with what was going on inside that race car of Charlie Ray Howe. Charlie Ray sat there, and luckily he had turned his camera on inside of his car that these drivers a lot of times use in their cars to help them make adjustments in their future races and whatever, some mistakes they made or whatever behind the wheel. So most of them film it from their car, and Charlie Ray luckily had turned his camera on. About that time, you seen old Kenny Schrader, one of NASCAR's legends, walk up and ask him about what was going on, and I know that made Charlie Ray's night at the racetrack, along with everyone else's there as well. Again, this Sports Talk Mania, it's Monday afternoon, 6 to 7. We've got about 13, 14 more minutes left to go in the show. Phone lines are open, 931-623-6090. Give us a call. We'll talk anything sports with you if you'd like to give us a call. Again, big racing coming up this weekend. If you like racing, you're not going to be bored this Sunday especially. Got the Indianapolis 500 going to be run earlier on in the day, and then the Coca-Cola 600 for the NASCAR guys coming up a little bit later that afternoon. We was talking a little bit about baseball earlier, and that's one thing that just some disappointments going on. I know there's several Chicago Cub fans out there. Right now, Chicago Cubs are 15 and 27. 15 wins and 27 losses on the season. What do we got to do to get those Chicago Cubs? And I think just about everyone in the United States of America pulls for the Chicago Cubs at one time or the other, whether you're a Chicago Cub fan or not, just because of the history there at Chicago and at Wrigley Field. It's just one of those, it's just true baseball. And, of course, baseball being America's pastime, we'll talk baseball, we'll talk football, basketball, whatever you want to talk. Phone lines are open. We're going to take a little break, and we'll come back to finish out the show right after a break. And, again, Sports Talk Mania, phone lines are open, 931-623-6090. We'll be back right after this.
On MustangsTV.com, the Big Fred Show will be airing. Want to encourage everyone to tune in. Starting in the next couple of weeks, we'll have the Big Fred Show live on MustangsTV.com. Stay tuned for more information.
Princess Beauty Pageant. This will be happening Saturday, May the 31st, starting at 12 noon. It's going to be at the Old Crockett Theater, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. It is a natural pageant. For all other information, please go to MustangsTV.com and check it out. Again, that's the 2014 Miss Southern Princess Beauty Pageant. More things coming up. Back here live, Sports Talk Mania. We got a caller on the line. We got James from this area, our neck of the woods. James, what's going on with you today, my friend?
I just listen to your show.
Man, I appreciate you listening to the show. I think we have cut you off, thanks to KJ, and I apologize for that. We'll get things hooked back up here and get back. We're trying to get back in touch with James Powell, who just called, and unfortunately my producer here cut him off. We're going to blame it on him anyway. See if we can't get James back on the line. James, have we got you back?
Yeah, we got us back, man. We had a little situation again.
Man, I apologize for that. My producer's sitting here beside me. He kind of messes things up for me every now and then, but he does a good job outside of that.
Yeah, it happens from time to time. I was actually watching Sports Center this morning, and they were talking about possible size for the Super Bowl. So, my question to you: do you ever see Nashville hosting a Super Bowl?
Do I see it ever? Absolutely. I mean, sometime in the future, absolutely, I see it. But the problem is with Nashville is one thing they're going to have to, and again, this is just my opinion, and it's not worth a whole lot, but we're going to use it for today anyway. In my opinion, Nashville's got to work on a lot of their traffic problems. If you try to pack 100,000, 70,000, 80,000 people into LP Field, and of course LP Field would have to add on a few seats to get that many people in, which is one of their first holdups of hosting a Super Bowl. But even once they do that and get the seats in, James, I honestly feel that they're going to have to work on their traffic and their flow of the traffic, because I don't know if you've been to a Titans game lately, but it's a nightmare getting out of that stadium, getting out of the downtown Nashville when there's a ball game. Now, don't get me wrong, that's what a lot of people like is that so-called confusion after a ball game, going to and coming from the games. But do I see it happening in the future? Absolutely. I don't see why that we couldn't. I mean, Atlanta hosted the Olympics a few years ago. Everybody said that couldn't be done in that area, but they did. They hosted, and it turned out to be, where everything worked out fine. A few hiccups here and there with a couple of things that happened down there. But outside of that, yeah, absolutely, I think Nashville could host a Super Bowl.
I think it'd be a great location just because of where it's at. It's kind of almost central to the whole United States. So, I mean, travel won't be as great if you had to go out west or up to New York like they had to this past year.
That was one of those that kind of shocked me, them having the Super Bowl in an outdoor stadium in New York during the wintertime. Luckily, they, had good weather, great weather actually for that time of the year up there.
Yeah, they dodged the bullet, definitely. But I still think Nashville will be a great spot. And I got one more question, I'm a musician, so I want to ask you this one question. We'll hang up. But what's your top 5 sports-related songs?
Top 5 sports-related songs. Well, okay, James, again, we thank you for calling in Sports Talk Mania. Look forward to hearing from you again. My 5 top sports-related songs, I'm going to have to say is, and I'm a big race car fan, big race car driving fan, NASCAR series fan, as most people here in the South are. And I'm going to have to say the one that plays on one of my favorite shows, which is Cars, Walt Disney movie Cars. Life is a highway. And I better quit singing or I'm going to actually lose all the ones that I actually got here listening to me. But that's one of my favorite sports songs. And then, of course, you go to, I'm going to say, Rocky. You got to go to Rocky, Eye of the Tiger. That's one of my favorite sports-related songs. I don't know. Outside of those two, I've really not thought about it a whole lot, but those are two of my favorite ones that play as far as sports-related songs. Again, thanks, James, for calling in. Look forward to talking to you again. Phone lines are open. We still got a few more minutes of the show here, 931-623-6090. If you'd like to discuss something or ask a question, by all means, give us a call, 931-623-6090. The phone lines are open at this time, and hopefully we won't get the producer to hang up on anybody else again. We'll be able to jump in there and get you online again. We got a few more minutes of the show, and just give us a call here at 931-623-6090. A few things, other things going on around. Had some guests last week. One of them was Paul, and he was talking, gave us some insight on what you needed to do with your young student athletes, the ones that's in high school. And like Paul said, and he and I discussed last week, got to start looking early. When they're a sophomore, if you're looking for them to go to that next level, which is college, and even higher up than that to the pros, start looking at it when it's about a sophomore. Get with people that can get your name out there, get things done for you by all means. That way you're ready to go by the time you are a senior. A lot of things upcoming in Mustangs TV. You definitely want to get all your information for the beauty pageant coming up here before long. Going to be at the Old Crockett Theater in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Get online and check it out at MustangsTV.com for all the do's and don'ts of what's going on as far as our beauty pageant. It's going to be held at the Old Crockett Theater in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee later on.
You know what, Lee? One thing that I want to talk about is the Buddy Ball League going on up in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. I don't know how many of y'all have read the articles and heard about Buddy Ball, but Buddy Ball is very special. It gives kids that may not normally be able to play the game of baseball a chance to play. I was listening. They had a broadcast on WLX. They were broadcasting the last Buddy Ball game today, and one thing that I heard them mention, there is no outs, and every kid that comes up to bat gets to run around the bases. And
That's cool.
They're trying to raise funds to purchase a rubber field, which or I guess the rubber to put in the rubber field, and that would, one thing that I've heard is that would really make it a lot easier for the kids to be able to maneuver, because a lot of them are in wheelchairs, and some of them have problems getting around, and so that would just be just huge for them to be able to help them out, and just get around. They've set up a nonprofit organization that folks can donate to. One of these fields, Lee, $350,000.
Wow.
So this is not something that's cheap. But if you would like to give a little something to go towards building this rubber field, they've set up a website. It's www.abigailsplan.org, and that's www.abigailsplan.org, and that is set up. Tommy Lee Kidd, his daughter plays, and they've set up that non-profit organization, and their first project is going to be that rubberized field for the kids to play on. So
that sounds cool, and abigailsplan.org is the site they need to go to, and also I think we have it posted on our Mustang TV. We got something that you can get there anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
If on Mustangs TV, so check it out. And again, this is going for a great cause, and like KJ said, it's something that's going to be great for our area, and hopefully it's already in other areas as well. But we'd love to get it going strong in our area and help out these kids that, like KJ says, it's not ordinarily going to be on your regular baseball team or something. Let's help them out. Let's do what we can. Again, you can check it out at abigailsplan.org, or I think we've got something posted on our site at Mustangs TV. Check it out too as well. Got a couple of more minutes. If you'd like to get a quick phone call in, 931-623-6090. One thing I want to say until we get a call or until the end of the show, LaShawn McCoy of the Philadelphia Eagles says he's the best running back in the NFL. That's one of those things that, you've got to have confidence in yourself. But I don't think I go out and post that with all these big defensive linemen and defensive backs in the NFL. I don't think I'm going to say that, especially when I've got to go up against all these other teams. However, again, he's made that statement. He says he's the best running back in the NFL. And let's see if he can back it up. He is good. But now I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of good running backs in the NFL. You've got to be good to make it to the NFL is one thing. And to be on the starting running back for any of the 32 NFL teams, you got to be good to do that. So is he the best or is he not the best? That's something we can discuss. And if not today, we'll discuss that next Monday on Sports Talk Mania. Again, if you'd like to get a quick line in, we got another minute or two left, 931-623-6090. We'll keep her right here for a little while. Since we got on the air just a little bit late today, we'll run over 2 or 3 minutes as well. So you got plenty of time to call, 931-623-6090. We're going to talk sports as we are sports maniacs here at Sports Talk Mania. Get on the line, give us a call. Again, we'll discuss LaShawn McCoy stating that he's the best running back in the NFL. We'll discuss baseball, basketball, softball. It doesn't matter. We're going to talk sports here. Also, this past week, Johnny Manziel shows up for his mini rookie camp, as they call it in the NFL, and was told right off the bat that he was going to be looked at for the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Is that right or is that wrong? Let's see how Cleveland handles this one throughout the season and throughout the offseason, I should say, for right now. And then when the season gets started, we'll see how they handle it then.
I saw earlier today on ESPN, they talked with the head coach, and he said that Manziel did pass the first test, if you will, or day one, in their training camp or whatever they're doing right now. He said, yeah, he passed for the day. So I guess that's a good sign, right?
That's a good sign for Johnny Football, or Mr. Johnny Football, as they're going to call him at Texas A&M.
See, and here's the thing. I know that his nickname is Johnny Football, but I've got a problem. I've got a little problem with calling him Johnny Football because, that name is reserved. If you're a Tennessee fan, that name is already taken.
Only the Tennessee fans is going to bring that one up, KJ, but I'll have to agree with you on that. And besides that, he is in the NFL now. He is no longer at Texas A&M. So if he was Johnny Football in college, he's going to have to make his name for me to call him Johnny Football in professional NFL anyway. So we'll see what Johnny Manziel does, one of the big names in the past NFL draft, along with a few other things, few other stories going down in the NFL draft as well.
Did you see where one of the regents for the Texas A&M board wants to name Kyle Field Kyle Field, the house that Johnny built, and I think that's actually what he's wanting to name the place. And I think a lot of people, you got some that are saying, yeah, that's a great idea, let's do it. And then, you got some that's, no, I don't think so, and my personal opinion on it, now once again, this is just my personal opinion, I think that before you consider anything like that, you need to wait and see what this young man is going to do in the NFL. Because what if they approve it, and say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that, and then NFL comes and he don't do anything in the NFL. What are you going to do then?
Well, and I've heard a lot of people compare this signing of Johnny Manziel to the signing of Tim Tebow. There's a difference in Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow. I thought coming out of college, Tim Tebow might be one of the best college football players in his position that there was, just because he was that good of an athlete. Going into the pros, I was pulling for him just because he was that, even though I didn't like Florida as college, but I was pulling for Tim Tebow coming out of college because of a great stand-up person he was outside of just being a good athlete. And the difference in those two are that Johnny Manziel, I think, has got the tools to make it in the NFL. Will he use those tools? Will he use his head the correct way to make those tools work? That's going to be left up to the world to see, as, again, he is on the Cleveland Browns. I see no reason why he will not make the Cleveland Browns squad, especially with the quarterbacks that they have. And I'm not saying they've got bad quarterbacks, but these quarterbacks they have been around for a while, so we're going to see what happens with that. Again, phone lines are open. We've got another minute or two left here on Sports Talk Mania, 931-623-6090. If you'd like to get in real quick before the end of the show, give us a call. We're going to talk sports. I grant you that here on Sports Talk Mania. Again, I want to thank all of our guests at this time. Today we had Coach Gary Lamb of the Loretta Mustangs on earlier. Great interview with Coach Lamb. We appreciate his time. Had Bob Moore, the first caller of the day. Want to appreciate Bob as well. We asked these guys to call back in sometime. We'll discuss some more. Charlie Ray Howe interview that was actually played out today. The interview was a little earlier in the week. And James Powell for calling in. He was one of our last callers of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we thank you for tuning in to Sports Talk Mania this Monday evening. We invite you back each and every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We'll discuss anything sports on Sports Talk Mania. I'm Lee Haygood. Until next Monday, good night, everyone.